Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Cullivan and we are starting a new unit this week in reading. It's Unit 7 and it's called Best Buddies. It's a science unit and we're going to be learning about how living things depend on each other. It's a really fun unit. We're going to learn about how animals help each other survive in the wild. So to get us started, I'm going to introduce some new vocabulary words to you. And then at the end, I'm going to go over a quick grammar lesson. So here we go. Our first vocabulary word is a chain. And a chain can show you how things are related. And so in this unit, we're going to think about animals. And they have a cycle, which is also considered a chain. And one thing connects to another. So like frogs, they start out as eggs. And then they become tadpoles, and then they grow back legs, and then they grow front legs, and then they become a frog. And once they become a frog, they lay eggs, and the cycle starts all over again. It keeps repeating. Also, you can think about in the wild is a food chain and how there are relations on what animals eat. So there's grass growing and the sun shines and there's water and that makes the grass grow and that gives a place for grasshoppers to eat and live. Well, grasshoppers are something that frogs like to eat. So frogs can eat the grasshoppers. Snakes like to eat the frogs. Hawks like to eat the snakes. And after the hawks eat, they sometimes spit out or they go to the bathroom and that stuff goes into the ground, which helps the grass grow, which helps the grasshoppers, and then it continues to go on and on and on. That's called a food chain, and that happens a lot in the wild. Our next word is relate. Can you say relate? Good. Relate. A lot of times you might hear the word related. If someone's related to you, they're in your family. They're connected to you. And we're going to see how things are related in nature, how they are connected. Okay? Oops. All right. Everybody say role. One more time. Can you say role? A role is your job or your purpose. And in nature and in science, you'll see that animals and plants have a purpose or a job to help other animals survive. And we're going to learn about those things. People have roles, right, and jobs. I'm a teacher. This lady in the picture is a dog walker. That's her role. That's her job. This other doggy over here that's walking with the lady in the brown pants. That looks to me like he might be a seeing eye dog, and his job is to help lead the lady who can't see to walk around safely. Next word is vegetation. It's a big word. Vegetation. 4 syllables. Can you say vegetation? One more time. Vegetation. Good job. Now, vegetation, you might think, that kind of sounds like vegetables. Yeah, and it does. That's because vegetables are plants that grow, and vegetation counts for all plants that grow. Vegetables, trees, bushes, plants, all of that is called vegetation. You can see that this area has a lot of vegetation, a lot of plants growing in this area. Our next word is wildlife. Can you say wildlife? Now, wildlife is exactly what it sounds like. It's animals that live in the wild. Their life is in the wild. That's different than dogs and cats or birds that we might have in our house as pets. Those animals are not wild. These are the animals, the lions, the deers, the monkeys, the birds that live outside. They are wildlife. They don't have humans help them to survive. They hunt and they find their own food and they have their own babies out in the wild. And that's the animals we're going to be talking about is wildlife that live in their natural habitat. All right, so that's it for vocabulary words for this week. But today, just very quickly, I want to talk to you about verbs. A verb is an action word. And in your sentence, you always have to have a verb to make it complete. Something has to be happening in the verbs. In a sentence, sorry. The verbs are telling you what happens, like live, sings, looks, pulls, eat, sings, puts. Those words are the actions that are happening. They are the verbs. Now, a verb in the present tense will show you what's happening right now. In the present, happening right now. I'm talking. And sometimes you have to add an S when you tell what one other person or animal or thing does. If it's one bird, you would say one bird sings in the tree. If there were lots of birds, you would say many birds sing in the tree. So sometimes we have to add an S to the end of that. Verbs in the present tense can also show you that actions are happening again and again and again. So the birds eat every day. I sing every morning. I always put seeds in the bird feeder. So things that are happening every day or over and over and over. So what I would like you to do is look at these pictures and see if you can write some sentences that are about these pictures in the present tense. So pretend that it's happening right now when you write those sentences. And you can put those on Class Kit for me. Okay, thank you, boys and girls. Do all your work. I'll see you soon.